Good evening. Good evening. Just want to jump back and kind of recap on some of the things that we had discussed. And we had a couple people have some questions they wanted me to ask. Um, so one of them, and matter of fact, let me rewind and go back. We have Coach Doug Robertson on again from Fort Valley University, and we have Mr. Coach Derek Williams from Wilberforce University um, on, discussing HBCUs, the backgrounds of HBCUs, and the advantages of some of our youth being at HBCU, and the differences and not so many differences, non-differences, and dispelling some of I would say, the myths about HBCUs. So one of the questions that was asked by one of the parents was, why is it a issue with some of the HBCUs going out to some of the certified events, so the kids can be able to, see you all in at some of the tournaments. Which, like I said, I know the answer, but I just thought I would let you all come on and so they can hear it directly, from you all. So we can start with Derek, and then we'll go to Doug.
Well, for me, we're a small university. We don't have all, we talked about not having resources and, not having large staffs and the ability to hop on planes and, things of that nature to go to showcases and certified events as much as we would like. Um, so for me, sometimes it's a resource issue. Right now I got a staff of, myself, a paid assistant, and then I got a volunteer assistant. So we get stretched kind of thin. And so for me, with
Okay.
Hey Doc, somebody got a lot of background noise going on. I can hear TV or something.
Let me see. There,
there you go.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, there
so
we go.
good. That's perfect.
Okay. All right, so it's on you, Doug.
Okay, I mean it's a large sample size question there, and I'm gonna try to tone it down a little bit. So here you go. So every university across the country, the athletic departments function differently. So let's say Ohio State University, they are really a separate entity from the university. They're called athletic associations. So they function off of a foundation, an athletic foundation that's built off of some student fees, a lot sponsorship from different companies, television revenue, all of those things encompass Ohio State University. So if individuals pay attention to their athletic fees at their institutions that they go to, part of their bill, at some Power Five institutions, the athletic fee may be $2,500. That's per semester at some schools. So in some cases, those institutions give the complete athletic fee to the athletic department. So if there is 20,000 students at that school and the athletic department is receiving $5,000 from each of the 20,000 something student athletes or students that go to that school, that money's going to the athletic department. Then that money is distributed between football and all the other programs in the athletic department. What individuals don't also understand is the NC2A also provides money to Division I institutions to continue to survive based upon the number of athletic programs they have. So they also provide them with money based upon some socio-economical advantages, disadvantages based upon financial aid. So that's another resource to get money. So where Derek and I are at, we may be considered what the NC2A may say and NAIA may say, we are considered a low resource institution because our athletic fee does not totally go to our athletic department. So if you compare Ohio State,
Just went out for a second.
athletic fee, and compare it to us, it's a night and day difference. So yes, Derek is right about, yes, he has some limitations, but he also has a financial limitation because the president, whoever may have decided, okay, we're not going to give our athletic programs, instead of giving them their athletic fee may be $1,000. Well, they may say, hey, we're only going to give the athletic department 300 of it, 400 of it. So they're going to keep the rest and use that money towards whatever they want on the institution. You still have maintenance you have to take care of, building renovation you have to take up. So all of that comes out of the athletic fee. So depending on each institution, it really determines what they're going to truly invest into the program. So now it boils down to the coach, the AD, what are they going to do in terms of going out and raising funds to offset some of the shortcomings some institutions may have. This is not a 3-minute question and answer because this is a humongous deal in terms of answering that question.
Right.
So I'm gonna say at this point, it really depends financially on the institution and what they want to truly invest into athletics. And you got to understand now, I tell every AD, VP, president, athletics is pretty much, and they'll all say the front porch of an institution. Because most people will identify a student athlete on their outside in the community. That student athlete that has a part-time job working at McDonald's, guess who they represent? McDonald's. They don't represent the institution. When there's an incident that takes place, they're going to say the McDonald's employee. They're not going to say the Wilberforce women's basketball player. They're going to say the McDonald's employee. So it's a brand. So when a student athlete is out here doing their thing out on the field, on the court, it's a Wilberforce student athlete. It's not a McDonald's employee. So it's a little bit more investment that has to take place in terms of what you're trying to sell and provide. So what institutions are now providing is this, or trying to say, well, athletics is a new game. So what you'll see now in some athletic departments, they are now, I don't know what y'all doing, Derek, but you may see a football team, instead of a football team having 80 players on the team, you might see 150 players out there. So now everything's becoming enrollment driven through athletics to increase fees. So you may see a men's basketball team, a JV team, women's team, a JV team, and then you'll see rosters of a basketball team that might have 30 players on the team. I don't know how you're going to service 30 players, but if you can, you need to start doing clinics on how to do that. I don't know how you do that, but it happens. But now it becomes they're using athletics as a avenue to recruit student athletes. I've always had a gripe in terms of that, and I'm not belittling what someone does in admissions, but I know for a fact some of the best recruiters that are out here are coaches. I spend majority of my time talking to people. So I think I can go in Chick-fil-A and work with the best of them in terms of customer service.
Right.
And I think the model that Chick-fil-A has is off the chain in terms of their customer service. I think I can provide the same thing, and I can talk with the best of them. But at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. And I think if some institutions embrace more coaches who are in the retirement or the twilights of their career and allow them to work in the admissions process, enrollment will go up. And you won't have some of these shortfalls. But I'm just a little old coach. So I'm not saying a darn thing. But yes, so we talk about all this stuff, right? So yes, I can't be at every event. I mean, if some parents understood in terms of what some of the mid-major schools do in terms of flights, the way the schedule's set up, some programs are flying charter to different events. I mean, it is outrageous. And I've been blessed to have worked at that Power 5 level one time. And it's a true monster. So to ask a program such as myself or Derek to go to an event in Kentucky and then turn around and come see your child again play in Maryland or DC. Now, if you don't mind me driving to each event, because that's how I'm gonna get there, you go ahead and wait on me, because otherwise I'm not flying to all those events. My budget ain't allowing me to do that. So give me some gas money and I'll be there.
All right, so
it ain't working like that.
You hit the nail on the head with that one.
So that's just a short version. I can give you a whole clinic on that and break down the numbers and show it to you. So I done been there and done that one.
well, you know, that's why it was important, like, for people to hear from you, from you all, so they can hear, because for whatever reason, some of them believe that they're not they don't want to recruit. They're being lazy. You know, how they gonna want, how they want kids to come to HBCUs and they not out. How they want kids to, to be interested in HBCUs. And so at the start of every at each and every one of my PT4L showcases, I start out by this. One of the reasons why I started doing the HBCU showcases was to help the HBCUs get a better look at some kids that they can't get out to see because their recruiting budget and their travel allotment is not the same as some of those other schools. They are at a disadvantage. So I'm just doing my little part to try to even off the playing field by placing great, talented, high-level kids all in one place, so you all can see everybody at one time and be able to recruit from there.
Okay, Derek, let me answer this one more. I'm gonna answer this even more. Okay, so these parents, and I'm not speaking negatively, parents who possibly are watching. Let me say this: I don't know how much it costs for a student or their child to play AAU basketball. I don't know. It may be a fee involved. It may not be a fee involved. But I do know this much: where they're traveling, they got to get a hotel room. Number one, gas, feed their child, and play games and get into those venues to watch their child play. Now, my daughter played AAU volleyball. Those events are expensive. So in a volleyball season, we budgeted $10,000 for her to play volleyball. That's what we did. $10,000. It covered all the hotel expenses, all of the gas money. We put all food, everything. We knew exactly how much volleyball was going to cost us every volleyball season. That's for us. Now, mind you, we both work. So, I mean, it was fine, but I certainly wasn't happy. So at the end of the day, I know how much I spent, and I work every day. So I don't know what other parents may have been doing, but I know what I spent. So for a coach, if a parent has to pay $20 to get their family into a game per person, that's $60. Okay, so you got a pass. They may give you a weekend pass for $200. Okay, that might be for just one person. It ain't for the whole family.
Right.
So you need to keep that in perspective. So now you have an AAU person or director such as yourself. I won't say any names of the other directors. I mean the organizers. But those books cost a school $500, $600, $800,000 for us to get a book. So you telling me you want me to go to every event and watch your child play, and that book just to get to see other kids is going to cost me, let's just say a soft number, $500. Your kid is playing in 8 events. What's 5 times 8? I don't know. I don't do math. It's a lot of money. You know that much. So now it becomes, okay, let's do the Gino Ariema, and the Power 5 people. They already know who they're recruiting. Their recruiting list probably consists of 20 kids. So they don't need to purchase a book because they already know who they're going to go see. So you know what the directors of events started doing? Like, Doc here, I don't know if he got hip to the game. They started charging coaches $50 a day to come see games because they wasn't buying the book. There's no reason to buy the book. I'm only recruiting 20 kids. I know all 20 of them in the top of my head. I don't need the darn book.
That's right.
So
Hey,
it is what
I
it
wish
is.
I wish I did charge that much.
Right. I mean, this whole
I just don't do it.
Yeah, college athletics, and
It's on the cut.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. And that's the thing, that the budget, and that was one of the reasons why I told people, I was like, once again, why I started doing it and the price that I do it at, just because I know it's a huge financial burden on the
my fault. I'm
HBCUs.
sorry.
No, you good.
Hey,
I know it's a huge burden.
Yeah, listen, this thing, let me say to everyone who possibly is watching this, college athletics is almost bigger than professional athletics. The amount of money that is generated through college athletics right now is out of control. So that's why you have this transfer portal. They're talking about eliminating the NC2A because Power 5 institutions are like, we don't really need the NC2A. That's why you're seeing the Big Ten network, ACC network, everybody going into these different, cable venues. So now when you want to watch Ohio State play, you got to have a cable network to watch them play because they're not going to be on ABC. So that's why you see these big television networks that was, it's $5 billion we're going to give to this conference. Yeah, because they got it. Everybody. Right. I mean, the draft. I mean, all of this. What is this called? The sports betting. It's out of control now. So college athletics isn't regular anymore. This is like semi-pro athletics right now. This is business. Out of control. Yeah. It's a pure business. So at the end of the day, I mean, we just puppets in this whole process. So, paying attention to, what's going on in terms of trends in college athletics is crazy. So I'm just glad that I was a nobody student athlete who came through and I didn't have to come through this era. This is bad. And I work in it every day. I mean, I'm hearing kids that are at small Division II schools and they got NIL deals. And I'm like, what the world is this? Who is investing into this stuff? Right. But hey, if it's out here, somebody want to invest in it, go right ahead.
Hey, go get it.
It's student athletes who I want to go overseas and play basketball, but there's different tiers of basketball overseas. You got the D level, the C level, the B level, the A level. You playing at the D and the C level, you might not even get a paycheck.
Right.
You lucky that you got somewhere to live and eat every day. So is that really playing overseas? Yeah, you overseas, but you barely eat. You might as well go to the rec center and I can give you a daggone bologna sandwich if you want to play that bad.
Yeah. And Coach, you spoke on NIL deals, man. There's some kids out here got NIL deals that make more than I do.
That is very true. You ain't by yourself. They're making more money than me. So, it is what it is. I mean, you get into personal training. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean,
definitely changing the landscape, of athletics.
Big time. Definitely big time. And that's the thing. So, like, that's why I wanted you to answer some of those.
Go ahead, run them.
Specific questions. No, you good. That's what I said. That's why I wanted you all to answer some of those specific questions, just so people, could hear that, and just hear the realness, of it. And it's not like y'all turn around and and y'all just like, hey, yeah, we just not going out because we don't care,
Oh
whatever.
no.
So I just wanted people to hear the realness, of it. So therefore, they hear right from you. Also, like another one of the parents just randomly and not in a negative way. They was like, what do you think it would take for the HBCUs to start being on television more, so kids can start turning on the TV and start seeing some of these HBCUs? Because she was like the football. She was like, I noticed some of the football is starting to do it. And she said, do you ever think it will get to the point where some of the basketball games, where we could just go through our guide and like, okay, oh, boom, there's a couple of HBCU college basketball games on. So so our kids can start seeing the level of play and see that they do have a lot of talent at the HBCUs. They do have skilled players. They do have good coaching. What do you think it would take for it to get to that point?
Well, I mean, you can catch some games on right now, but I think at the end of the day, and I think we're gonna start to see more now, especially with these NIL deals. But me personally, I feel like until we start to play each other, instead of taking these money games and sacrificing our kids, I think we're gonna have to come together as HBCUs and start playing each other and kind of putting together our own networks. But again, it's gonna be finances. Like Coach said, finances is always gonna be the big part of it. It's always gonna be a big part of it.
Okay, I'm gonna expand on Derek's answer. So here you go. All right. He gave you all, whoever answered this, wanted this answer to this question. He gave you a very black and white answer. I'm gonna give you a loophole to all of this. Go order a Fire Stick. Okay? Go get a Fire Stick, and that will solve all your problems, because you can catch ESPN 1, 2, 3. You can catch all these games on. We talked about this yesterday. YouTube.
Yep.
Most schools are live streaming their games. You can go right on the school website, and if you want to see that Mary or Bobby play that bag, go pay the $5.
And you got it.
Because you paid $20-something to go see the University of Ohio State football team play. So go pay $5 and watch Wilberforce play such and such, because they live streaming the game.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, it's avenues, because once again, every school has got to try to do something to generate revenue, and that's what they've gone to. Now, previous institutions that I've worked at, even I paid for a live stream packet. It only cost me, I think, $65, and I could see every school who was using a live stream service within our conference for $65. I saw any game I wanted. It was live.
Okay.
So, it's avenues out here. I mean, now some schools may not be live streaming their games. Now, that part I cannot speak on. But if you're trying to be progressive as a department, you're going to try to live stream as much as possible, because if it's 20 kids on a team in basketball, maybe half of them, in terms of their parents, are going to purchase a live stream package. That's 10 parents that just purchased it. You got your grandmama, your granddaddy, they gonna buy something. And then you got an aunts and uncles. So before you know it, the package is paid for after one event in terms of the service by the school. So it makes sense to me. Let me say this to you. My daughter played volleyball. Guess what we had? Fire Stick, and we had to buy the package. It was a no-brainer. We didn't have a choice. Well, I ain't have a choice. I had to do it. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, I think Coach hit the nail on the head. Even a little video Wilberforce, we live streamed our games last year.
Okay.
And it was $10 a game, or you can pay for the whole month at $30. I mean,
oh really?
So
$30, huh?
for the
Yeah. You
yeah,
go to Applebee's and spend $30 or
that's
McDonald's
right.
or
That's,
Chick-fil-A. So,
you're
but
right.
you can see whatever you want to see. TV
Right,
is
right.
TV's
We what we
international
want to
now.
see. Yeah, yeah. I think you said it right. We see what we want to see. You know,
Right.
and you're right, Coach. People just gonna have to invest and think outside the box. I mean, you could always find HBCUs playing on ESPN Watch. You know, find them all day long.
Okay. All right. So that's just
Go
good.
ahead.
So therefore, so people can know and they have the information out there. And I know we kind of touched a little bit on it. And I know Derek, I know you had the story about your brother. I mean, not Derek, Derek, you had the story about your brother. Um, but uh, just talking with a young lady, and she was like, I get tired of going back and forth with my coworkers or people saying that HBCU degrees don't equal to a PWI degree, so to speak. They would rather get a degree at, if a person graduated from let's say Michigan, and the person graduated from Grambling or Fort Valley or Wilberforce, if they got ready to go for a job, they would look at the school that they graduated from, and these schools are going to quote unquote outweigh some of the HBCU degrees. What do you have? If a parent is sitting in the living room, you're recruiting a kid, and they ask you that, how do you respond? And we go with Derek first, because I know Doug go he
Well,
can't wait.
I say he came determined about that one last night. So
We just talked about this.
we just talked
Yeah,
about
right.
he said last night, a degree. Yeah, and like you said, that's you in a medical school, a medical field. It might be a little bit different, but what I tell everybody, is at the end of the day, you just I don't want to say it like this, but I'm gonna say it like this. My piece of paper ain't no different than nobody else's piece of paper. It just shows I can play on the chessboard with everybody else.
Correct. And like I said, and I touched bases on this already. Uh, my daughter graduated right from Central State with her gold honor cords, and is one of the most intelligent, bright young women people I know. Period.
Yeah, and I tell people, Doctor, to kind of answer your question, I tell people all the time. You seen the movie Hidden Figures?
Hmm.
The young lady did all
Yep.
the calculations to bring him back into space, back into Earth.
Correct.
Graduated from Wilberforce University. So
That's it.
there's history. There's
Right.
history at all these HBCUs. There are people at all these HBCUs who are thriving in their fields.
And just by you saying it, that's something that's news, like I said, because that's something I didn't know.
Yep.
That's something that I did not. That's something good to know about that, and a recruiting tool.
Yes. Yes. But I'm gonna let Doug have his spiel because like we talked about it last night. And
Hey, listen, man.
hit the tail on the head.
Listen, we talked about this last night, and it really it just depends on what you're trying to achieve academically. I don't really care where you go to school. Just like somebody in the medical field, you're a doctor now. This is me talking, not the medical field. You're going to get your degree from medical school. You're not going to know if that doctor that's working on you finished medical school with a C or an A. You ain't going to know. You think they're going to tell you, oh, I barely passed for the 70. You think he ain't going to tell you that? You fooling yourself. Because guess what they doing at the end of the day? Every time you talk about somebody doing medicine with an MD and all that, they are practicing medicine. They're practicing with the potential of making a mistake. Whether they go to a PWI or a black college, I don't want to hear that garbage. I really
Right.
don't. So at the end of the day, whether you go to Howard University Medical School or you go to University of Maryland, I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. True. Give you another story. Factual story. My uncle. He's a dentist. Now, yes, he's not a doctor per se, but he's a dentist.
Okay.
Extremely smart. Graduated from a public high school in Baltimore. Went to the University of Virginia back in the early 80s. That era during Ralph Sampson. He is extremely intelligent. He struggled there at University of Virginia because they were grading him extremely biased. Extremely biased. He ended up having to come back home. He went to Coppin State University and excelled and did really well and ended up going to the University of Baltimore dentistry school, graduating, and has his own practice now. But at the time, the University of Virginia wasn't embracing African Americans at their institution like that. Now, Ralph Sampson is a whole nother story in athletics because they're bringing money. But my uncle at the time was just a Baltimore City kid who did well academically and ended up going to the University of Virginia. And I consider him extremely smart. That's just me. I wish I had his intelligence because I wouldn't be doing this. But, at the end of the day, hey, that's a story that I know because I lived it and I saw his frustration in terms of what he was trying to do. And he just wasn't embraced. But he ended up receiving his degree from Coppin in the biology field and ended up going to dentistry school. And he's a dentist now. But, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, when you go when you go to a school and get a degree, you still have to go to a particular job and learn what they want you to learn or what they want you to know. So all they're basing everything off of is what you've done or what you've proven academically, that you can do the work, perform a task, be on time. And that's basically what college is all about. So, you look at it differently. Something's wrong with you. You're missing the boat big time.
Right, exactly. Because another thing, now what is and we kind of touched on this a little bit, and I told them I believe for some of our kids that it is great once they get to a HBCU just because of the culture, just from the band, the surroundings, and then just dispelling all of the stereotypes of, they thugs, they hoodlums, they this, and then I think it was something they get to these colleges, and they see all of these intelligent, young Black men and women, all these professors, because some African American kids might have had maybe 5 Black teachers they hold all through school, may have. And now they get to HB and they're looking at the professors and they're like, wow, so I think I told just from that standpoint, I think it helps out a lot on top of, just like I said, just the culture and them just being around. Like we talked about the band's playing, they turn around. It's nothing like going to HBCU homecoming and, you getting there and listening to that band. But just from the other part of it, just looking up and you seeing, you had a Black professor here and a Black professor there. And just like, man, some have never, ever seen that because all they see is they have and once again, not saying there's anything wrong with it, but they've never seen a lot of Black educators all at one time. They had a sprinkle, a few here and there, but they never just seen a lot of them. And that kind of dispels that myth, a lot of times. So I think that's, that helps out a lot by them going there. And then they having some mentors and people that look like them that can talk to them about some of their issues and their problems also. So I think, for me, I think those are some of the advantages, whatever, but you all have been there a lot longer. You walk it, you talk it every single day. So just from both of your standpoint, what are your advantages? Like if you were, like I said, once again, you're sitting in my living room, my daughter is trying to decide here or there, what are some of the advantages that you would sell a parent on about the difference with for coming to HBCU, I should say?
Well, I think first and foremost, and I said it last night, and you just said it as well. It's the opportunity to see people who look just like me and you excelling, and doing this and doing the things that that little Johnny, little Katie, or whoever's in the living room is dreaming of doing. But more importantly, it's that care, that love. You know, at an HBC, you're not just a number. You are a name. You are somebody. And you unfortunately you don't get that at PWIs. Most PWIs, and I'm not, I don't want to get into that pointing the finger thing, but you're a number. You might be in a class with 300 people. You might be in a class with 200 people. Well, guess what? And I'm gonna speak for Wilberforce. You're not gonna be in a class with more than 20 people at Wilberforce. So Professor Jones knows you by first name. Professor Jones knows that, hey, you having a bad day. Come on over into my office. Let's sit down and talk about it. And that's what I tell parents all the time. You're going to get that family love. You're going to get that care. You're going to get somebody who understands the same struggles the struggle that you're going through, or the bad days that you may be having, and why you having that.
True.
That's it. I mean, I don't know how else to answer that question for you, Doc. I mean, HBCUs are growing. Like, I think now North Carolina A&T may be one of the largest HBCUs out there. I mean, they pushing almost 15,000 students. I mean, it's growing unbelievably. But, at the same time, there's still room for interpersonal relationships within the academic realm, and Derek hit it on the nose, and that's pretty much what it grows on. I still to this day have Facebook friendships with some of my former professors, even the ones that gave me a not so pleasant grade because they said, Doug, you was arrogant in my class. So the same way I am sitting here talking with you, or I've talked with my professors. So it's interactive learning, and they're like, "Oh,
right.
no, you too brash." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So at the end of the day, I appreciate what they did for me, because maybe I was a bit above myself at times, and it taught me some valuable lessons in terms of what's right and what's wrong. I got a professor that I communicate, Professor Lowry. He graduated from Harvard Business School. He was one of my business teachers at Bowie State University. And this joker failed me because he was like, I don't know if you turned in all the work. I'm like, Professor Lowry, I know I've turned in all the work. I think you're trying to sham me right now, but it's okay. I'll deal with it. But neither here nor there. And I say that because I don't hold a grudge or anything towards the school I graduated from at all. I ended up getting an opportunity to work there as a head basketball coach for the women's program and did well. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to springboard into other opportunities. But, I can't say that for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of folks that I know who have gone to a PWI in terms of coaching, and they can't get an opportunity to go back and work at their alma mater because their alma mater won't hire them. I don't understand, but it is what it is. But I tell them all the time, my school hired me, and I left in great terms. So good luck. I have a slight bias for HBCU, but for whatever works for some individuals, it is what it is. I'm just partial to it, and I enjoy it every waking moment more than anything. And Doc, when you had told me to come, Derek and I to come back on, I was like, "What somebody want to talk to me about?" I don't have a clue, because I'm the same person I am yesterday. I am today. I'm not changing. So, at the end of the day, whatever question someone may have, I mean, they can email me. I ain't going nowhere.
So, and kind of recapping that, and Doug, now how long have you been in the HBCU system, and what HBCU did you graduate from?
Okay. I graduated from Bowie State University in Maryland. I have worked there as an assistant, as a head coach. I've worked at Delaware State as an assistant. So I was at Bowie total as a assistant and head coach 8 years altogether. I was at Delaware State for 6. I was at Claflin for 1 year as a men's assistant. I was at South Carolina State as a head coach for 10 years. I was at Shaw University for 3 years as an assistant. And now I'm here at Fort Valley. And I don't know. I'm in my 20-something year, as crazy as that may sound. But I still consider myself young, though.
All right.
So,
and,
yeah, I've been involved in the black college
a
scene
long time.
for a long time. So it's been the ironic part about it, and I know I'm getting old.
And I could have swore you was about 30 years old.
Hey, man, I'll come back on that tomorrow, man. But listen, I know it's bad because a young lady that I had recruited to come play for me at Delaware State, who's from Baltimore, is now the head coach at Bowie State University, and she's doing a great job. It's ironic. I mean, it's turned over that much. And it's funny for me because a lot of the student athletes that I have recruited are now coaching basketball. So when I see them, I don't get emotional, but I just laugh because I'm like, God, I recruited you. And now you coaching basketball. It's like unbelievable. So I know it's time for me it's about my time to walk away. Because the game is getting younger. You're seeing all these young faces as coaches, and you hope and pray that they don't do anything silly to mess it up for themselves. And, you look at the women's push in terms of women's athletics or athletics in general. You're seeing women coaching football now, women coaching men's basketball now. So it's evolving so much. And I'm not going to say they're taking opportunities away from men, but we've taken opportunities away from women. So it's a double-edged sword. But at the end of the day, it's just growing exponentially, and it's snowballing. And it's snowballing not always in the right direction, but it's snowballing. And it's opportunities through different things in terms of crisis across the country that's forwarding a lot of these black colleges to grow and embrace it.
Okay, Derek, what about you, good sir?
So for me, I didn't graduate from a HBCU. Always wanted to go to a HBCU, had opportunities, and just chose a different route. I graduated from University of Concordia out in Irvine, California. After about attending, 3 or 4 different schools. But I've been working in the HBCU realm now 6 years at Wilberforce, and I wouldn't trade it, not one bit. My family all are graduates of Central State, so it's kind of war in my household on a regular basis. But but I tell you, man, I tell my wife all the time, I tell my players all the time, there's nothing like this HBCU world. It's awesome. It's an opportunity to give back. I'm listening to Doug, and I was just thinking, I got a phone call today. One of the young ladies that played for me 2 years ago just got hired today as a Division III assistant basketball coach. And so you sit back and you see those kind of things, and it's like, wow, it is coming full circle. But for me, like I said, HBCU is it. If I go anywhere else, it's gonna be another HBCU. That's for sure.
Okay. I know you were out in California.
Yep.
Always learn something new every day.
Yep.
It's West Coast. So you got Baltimore and the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I just want to definitely want to run a few of those questions by just so people could hear. Um, just kind of dispel a lot of those rumors, those myths out there. Because I know at first, before I started doing the showcases, I would be like, man, not how they think these kids gonna go to HBCU. They not out here. I'm looking around, but once for myself, I started looking into the budgets and looking into the travel and stuff like that. Then I started, I understand. Not that they don't want to, it's like it's a different playing field.
Yep.
As with a lot of things, it's a different playing field. So that's what kind of woke me up, to it. And then it just started, making the calls and started calling around as much as I possibly could. And what frustrates me is when I hear AAU coaches or high school coaches say, "Man, why are you trying to get them in the HBCU?"
Yeah.
Or why you want to send them to to that level? I might have one or two girls that can play at that level. I ain't like that irritates me and frustrates me so much, just because we are our own worst enemy in every
Right.
facet of life. It makes absolutely no sense when I'm sitting there and I'm hearing AAU coaches tell kids, why you going to that showcase? You want to go to HB? Ain't no sense you going over there. You going bigger than that.
Yeah, and Doc, you hit it on the nose. I mean, I've been hearing that all my life from African Americans, from Caucasian American coaches at these AAU levels, the junior college level, and before you know it, there are okay. You send out an email, you see a kid play at a junior college, and you send the coach an email, and the coach doesn't respond back because they don't want that kid that they're coaching to go to a HBCU. Okay, fine. But why are you, as a coach, making that decision for that kid? How you know that kid does not want that for themselves? So I end up
Correct.
having to go through this whole backdoor process to get in touch with this kid. And now the coach feels violated because you didn't go through me to get a hold of my kid. Well, if you had just given them the information that I asked for, maybe let the kid tell me no and not you as a coach making that decision for a kid and their family. A
Correct.
lot of that goes on in this business.
Yeah.
It's sad. But it is what it is. And that's why I say now, that's why you see 2,500 something kids in the transfer portal, because they have selected an incorrect school.
That's right.
And a lot of times I see kids, same kids I was recruiting, and next thing you know, as soon as the season's over or midway through the season, some parent is sending me a text message or sending me an email, coach. Shanika don't not playing very much, and she thinking about she want to transfer. I'm like, okay, you had your opportunity, and not to say your situation would have been differently with me, because that could happen as well. But that situation that she's currently at, it was cancerous from the time you went go. But you elected to do that because you didn't want to have a graduation party for them when they were in their senior year and have to get up in front of everybody and make your speech and say, hey, my child is going to Wilberforce. It wasn't glamorous enough. You wanted them to say, hey, I'm going to Ohio State. Okay, no problem. So that's what it is.
He's gonna call it back in.
Everybody trying to win a social media goddamn parade or whatever. Who cares?
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. And look, I just paid $10,000 for my daughter to play daggone volleyball. So at this point, it doesn't matter to me. Who cares? I didn't pay for college twice. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But you just hit that on the head. It's a lot of it is so I can boast and brag and beat on my chest what level my kid went to, whatever. Especially like from the coach standpoint. My thing is, and I tell all the players, you call. What I tell you, I'm gonna hook you up with this parent. I'm out of it. I'm
Yeah.
done. Zero zilch.
Yep.
I don't have nothing else to do with it. I'm not getting nothing out of the deal. I don't care because I'm not the one that got to listen to Coach Derek Mouth. I'm not the one that got to listen to Coach Doug. I'm not the one that got to play with those teammates. I'm not the one that got to deal with anything at that school. It's not me. It's you. So you are the one that has to make that decision based on what you feel is going to be best for you. Your mom is not going to be there. Your dad not going to be there. Your friends, all that stuff like that. You so worried about, oh, well, they going here, so I'm going to go there. And then you look up there and transfer 5 times. You was worried about and you should have just went on ahead and followed your own path.
Listen,
Right.
Derek, listen, before you even speak, and it may seem like I have all these stories, and they are not lies, they are true. So look, for me, my daddy went to community college when he was going through the process. He went to Baltimore City Community College, and then he later went to Coppin State University. Guess where I went to school? I went to community college first, and then I went to Bowie State University. Guess what happened to my brother? Well, we talked about it yesterday. He went to a 4-year school, flunked out. Then he went to a community college, and then he graduated from a 4-year school. Guess where my son going to school at? Community college. So my son thought he was going to go to all these great schools. And I don't know if he on here listening. I don't know. But guess where he ended up? It must be in the water or in the gene. He's going to be at community college. And that's where he's at. So am I mad or sad about it? Nope. That's where he belongs.
Right.
So it is what it is. You can't force a square peg in a round hole. If that's what your calling is, you better go where your calling's at.
Follow your story. And that's what I tell you. Just follow your story to glory. Don't follow somebody else's, whatever, because you following theirs, it's going to be a nightmare. Do what you're supposed to do, and that's been our motto. Do what you're supposed to do, not what you want to do. Just follow this path. You'll be all right. Just follow your path, not everybody else's path, and I promise you'll be all right. And it's going to turn out to be a 10 times better, situation for you than going around and jumping around and they went there, or I got to try to outdo them. No, go, because at the end of the day, if I turn around and my friend says, "Well, I got a scholarship and I'm going here," and I got a scholarship and I may be at a lower level, but at the end of the day, I get to that level and I'm all American. I got my name up on the wall and stuff like that. I can always go back and I'm etched in history. I'm etched in history. And then you've been over there and all you can do is say, well, y'all had to wait and I played, a few minutes here and there. And now, I played a little bit my senior year. You can say you was on the team. So my thing is, I'm a gamer. I want to be on the court, on the field. Or on the ice. I want to be out there. I don't want to be sitting on. I don't want to be the ornament on the car. I want to be an integral part of the car. Let me be the steering wheel or the tires, stuff, or the engine. I don't want to be the ornament because you're just there. And that's where some of them settle.
Yeah, man.
Some of them settle for that. So once again, I want to thank you all. For coming on and just enlightening some of the people about some of the reasons why, and clearing some of that stuff up. And it's not like you all don't want to be out there recruiting. You do want to recruit, and you do want kids to be there. Like I said, what coach doesn't want to win? So they would be crazy to say they don't want to win. But I'm wishing both you all great success. And good luck this season. And Derek, I'm gonna wish you a little bit more success because Doug, you got more players than Doug does right now. So I'm gonna wish you a little bit more success than Doug right now.
Hey, it's just the grind for both of us, for everybody, man. So I all the best as well, man.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I want to sit back and watch some of y'all games. You know, like I got a Fire Stick on every TV, so I'm definitely gonna be watching. You know,
There you go.
I get to watch y'all. So once again, thank you very much. I appreciate y'all time. And and Derek, I'll be seeing you actually in a few because we'll be coming down there for that the homecoming weekend.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll be down there that weekend.
And Doug, I'm gonna catch y'all. I'm gonna catch you at Central State when y'all come up, man. I'll come over and check y'all out.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, you're at Central State. When are you at Central State?
I can barely tell you when we practice it. I don't have a clue,
man.
but we will be at Central State at some point.
All right.
I don't know. It's probably in January, I would assume.
Okay.
Prayerfully, I just hope it's not snowing when we go up there. That's all I ask.
Well,
all right. Well, yeah, we're gonna all have to pray on that one. So yes,
right.
I want to definitely. If you there, I definitely want to get up there because that's right up the road, and we're gonna definitely pray that it's not snowing because that one long strip coming down that hill to Central State and Wilberforce. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, you know what hill I'm talking about. I was like,
I don't know
like
what
you're on a roller coaster ride.
You talking about hill and snow? No.
Yeah, buddy.
No.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right,
man.
Yeah.
All right.